A seismic shift just hit the WNBA, threatening to unravel everything. Three of its most electrifying stars, Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, and Lexie Hull, have reportedly signed massive European contracts, plunging the league into an unprecedented crisis. This isn't just another off-season storyline. This is a fundamental challenge to the very foundation of women's professional basketball in America, a moment that historians may look back on as the defining crossroads that determined the league's ultimate fate. The magnitude of this event cannot be overstated. Caitlin Clark, fresh off a historic rookie season that shattered attendance records and brought unprecedented mainstream attention to the WNBA, choosing to leave represents more than just the loss of one player. It symbolizes a complete failure of the league's economic model. Sophie Cunningham, one of the league's most charismatic and marketable personalities, walking away sends shockwaves through marketing departments and sponsor boardrooms. And Lexie Hull, representing the next generation of rising stars, departing before reaching her prime suggests that the problem runs far deeper than just veteran dissatisfaction. The whispers started quietly, then exploded into a deafening roar across the league. Details began to surface about secret negotiations, culminating in a bombshell announcement that sent shockwaves through the entire basketball world, leaving fans and executives alike scrambling for answers. Sources close to the situation revealed that these negotiations had been ongoing for months, conducted in absolute secrecy with the help of high-powered international agents who specialize in lucrative European deals. The first hints emerged in late summer when astute observers noticed unusual social media activity from the players involved. Cryptic posts about new opportunities and exciting changes ahead were initially dismissed as off-season musings or potential endorsement deals. But behind the scenes, a far more significant drama was unfolding. European club representatives had been making discreet contact, flying to the United States for clandestine meetings in hotel conference rooms and private residences, presenting financial packages that dwarfed anything available in the WNBA. Industry insiders who spoke on condition of anonymity painted a picture of sophisticated recruitment operations. European clubs, flush with investment from wealthy ownership groups and benefiting from different economic structures, had identified this moment, with WNBA viewership at all-time highs but player compensation still lagging dramatically, as the perfect opportunity to make bold moves. They weren't just offering contracts. They were offering comprehensive lifestyle packages that addressed every aspect of a professional athlete's needs. The agents involved were not the typical WNBA representatives, but rather international sports management firms with experience navigating complex cross-border deals in soccer, tennis, and international basketball. They understood the intricacies of work visas, tax implications, and how to structure contracts that would be both legally sound and financially irresistible. Their pitch was simple but devastating. You can make more money in Europe in 3 years than you'll make in your entire WNBA career. This wasn't merely about the love of the game. It was about the staggering financial disparities that have long plagued the WNBA. We delve into the true unspoken motivations behind these shocking moves, exploring the stark contrast between standard WNBA paychecks and the lucrative, life-changing offers from European leagues that promise a far greater reward. While WNBA salaries max out in the low six figures for even the biggest stars, European contracts can offer double, triple, or even quadruple those amounts, along with luxury housing, personal transportation, and comprehensive benefits packages that dwarf anything available stateside. The numbers tell a sobering story that the WNBA has long tried to downplay or contextualize away. A typical WNBA superstar might earn between $200,000 and $250,000 per season, while their European counterparts, often lesser-known players, can command salaries exceeding $500,000, with some elite international contracts reaching 7 figures. Add in bonuses, endorsement opportunities, and cost of living allowances, and the financial gap becomes impossible to ignore. For athletes with relatively short professional careers, the economic calculus becomes painfully simple. But the disparity goes far beyond base salary figures. European clubs often provide luxury apartments in prime urban locations, personal vehicles or car services, first-class travel for family members, comprehensive health insurance that extends to off-season coverage, language tutors, personal chefs, and even employment assistance for spouses or partners. Some contracts include signing bonuses equal to an entire WNBA season's salary, performance incentives that can add hundreds of thousands of dollars, and retirement contribution plans that American teams simply cannot match. Consider the lived reality of a WNBA player earning $200,000 per year. After taxes, agent fees, and necessary expenses, housing in expensive American cities, transportation, training costs, nutritional support, and health care, the take-home amount can shrink to under $100,000. Many players work second jobs during the off-season, do youth basketball camps, or scramble for endorsement deals just to maintain financial stability. The contrast with European opportunities, where a $600,000 contract comes with most living expenses covered, represents not just better compensation, but genuine financial security and the ability to actually save for life after basketball. The psychological toll of this financial stress cannot be understated. Players have spoken privately about the anxiety of knowing that one serious injury could end their career before they've earned enough to secure their future. They've described the frustration of watching WNBA attendance and television ratings soar while their paychecks remain stagnant. They've recounted conversations with male athletes, sometimes their own partners or brothers, who earn in one season what they'll make in an entire career, despite similar levels of skill, dedication, and fan engagement. Economic analyses reveal uncomfortable truths about the WNBA's business model. While the league has made strides in recent years with franchise valuations increasing and media rights deals improving, the fundamental economics remain challenging. Revenue-sharing structures favor ownership over players. Salary cap limitations prevent teams from competing financially with international offers even when they want to. And the league's relationship with the NBA, while providing stability and resources, has also created dependency and limited the WNBA's ability to aggressively pursue alternative revenue streams. The league office went into immediate lockdown. The news of their top talents potentially defecting ignited a fierce debate among executives, culminating in an emergency meeting where desperate measures were considered to halt this unprecedented player exodus. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert reportedly convened a crisis management team, bringing together team owners, league officials, and legal counsel to assess the situation and formulate a response strategy. But that wasn't the whole story. The emergency meeting held at WNBA headquarters in New York lasted well into the night. Participants described an atmosphere of barely controlled panic mixed with anger and recrimination. Some executives felt blindsided, questioning how such significant negotiations could have progressed without the league getting wind of them earlier. Others admitted they'd seen warning signs but had underestimated the seriousness of player dissatisfaction or the aggressiveness of European recruitment efforts. Behind closed doors, tensions reached a boiling point. Some executives argued for aggressive legal action, threatening breach of contract lawsuits and potential career-ending penalties. Others advocated for a more conciliatory approach, recognizing that heavy-handed tactics could backfire spectacularly, alienating not just these three players but creating a public relations disaster that would paint the league as adversarial toward its own stars. The divide within the WNBA's leadership mirrored the broader crisis facing the organization. The legal team presented a sobering assessment. While WNBA contracts include various restrictive covenants, the enforceability of preventing players from accepting overseas opportunities during the off-season or choosing to play exclusively abroad remained questionable. Previous cases had established that leagues cannot indefinitely prevent athletes from seeking employment elsewhere, especially when those athletes are willing to accept the consequences of contract termination. Any legal battle would be costly, time-consuming, and might ultimately strengthen players' positions by exposing the league's limited leverage. Financial advisors brought equally troubling news. The league simply didn't have the immediate capital to compete with these European offers. While long-term restructuring might eventually create room for higher salaries, short-term solutions were limited. Some owners were willing to invest more in player compensation, but others operated on tight margins and couldn't afford significant increases without risking franchise viability. The fundamental tension between wanting to pay players more and the harsh realities of women's sports economics created a seemingly impossible situation. Public relations consultants warned of various response scenarios. Attacking the players would almost certainly backfire, turning them into sympathetic figures and martyrs for the cause of fair compensation. Remaining silent would look weak and might encourage other players to follow suit. Promising future improvements without concrete commitments would be dismissed as empty rhetoric. The communications challenge was immense: how to acknowledge legitimate player concerns while defending the league's position and maintaining fan confidence. Team owners joined subsequent meetings by video conference, each bringing their own perspective shaped by their franchise's unique circumstances. Large market teams with deeper pockets and corporate ownership advocated for competitive salary increases, viewing it as necessary investment to protect their brand value. Small market teams with more precarious finances worried about an arms race they couldn't afford. The lack of consensus among ownership further complicated any potential solution. Was this a coordinated power play designed to send an undeniable message? Uncover the untold stories of frustration and the long-simmering discontent that finally boiled over, leading these athletes to make a bold collective statement for player agency and fair compensation. Insiders suggest that informal conversations between players had been happening for years, with many top athletes privately expressing exhaustion with the financial struggles inherent in playing professionally in America. And what happened next would shock everyone. Investigative reporting uncovered a fascinating timeline. The coordination between these three players appears to have begun nearly 2 years ago, following yet another disappointing round of contract negotiations where promised improvements failed to materialize. What started as venting sessions between friends evolved into strategic planning. They consulted with labor attorneys, sought advice from athletes in other sports who had successfully negotiated better conditions, and studied the European basketball market meticulously. The timing of these announcements was no accident. Coming just months after the WNBA celebrated record viewership numbers and landmark television deals, the players' decisions seemed calculated to expose what they viewed as hypocrisy: a league experiencing unprecedented growth and revenue, while its athletes continued to struggle financially. The message was clear: if the WNBA wants to retain its top talent, the economic model must fundamentally change. Sources close to the players revealed that this wasn't a hasty decision born of simple financial greed, but rather a carefully considered statement about dignity and worth. These athletes had grown tired of the narrative that they should be grateful for the opportunity to play professionally, that they should accept substandard compensation because women's sports aren't profitable yet, and that patience and loyalty would eventually be rewarded. They'd heard those promises for years while watching league revenues increase without corresponding salary growth. The group had deliberately chosen to act in concert rather than individually. They understood that one player leaving could be dismissed as a personal decision, but 3 high-profile departures would force the league to confront systemic issues. They coordinated their announcements to maximize media impact, releasing statements within hours of each other to create a sustained news cycle. They prepared responses to anticipated criticisms and retained public relations advisors to help frame the narrative in terms of worker rights and fair compensation rather than abandonment or disloyalty. Private communications obtained by journalists revealed extensive discussions about the risks involved. These players knew they'd face backlash from some fans and potentially damage their reputations with certain corporate sponsors. They understood that burning bridges with the WNBA could foreclose future opportunities, including potential coaching or broadcasting